Hi, welcome to the galley. In the galley today, homemade shrimp cocktail. Now, if you've only had shrimp cocktail that is that pre-cooked shrimp frozen in a bag, then I promise you, you have never had real shrimp cocktail. And I just want to show you how easy it is to make your own shrimp cocktail. And once you have it, you'll never go back. Now, the first thing you want to do is get a quart bouillon going. And a quart bouillon is just a flavorful, quick cooking broth that you're going to use to poach your food in. So I'm going to start with about 2 quarts of water. And then you want to add a whole bunch of flavorful aromatics. Today I have a celery stalk. This was half of a fresh spring onion that I have. You could do a shallot. You could do a half of an onion. You could do a carrot if you wanted to. You could do a fennel bulb if you wanted to. And then I have some garlic that I smashed up a little earlier so that it could sit out and let that Allison work its way out. 2 to 3 cloves of garlic. I have a tablespoon of sugar. I'm going to do just about a teaspoon of whole black peppercorns. And I'm not going to measure, but I'm going to do a good tablespoon of my homemade Old Bay seasoning. 2 really good big size pinches of kosher salt. Now I have a lemon, and I washed my lemon because I'm going to squeeze my lemon juice and then I'm going to drop the whole lemons in. Now we're going to take this to the stove. We're going to bring it to a boil, and then we're going to simmer it for 30 minutes. And now I want to talk to you about the shrimp. I purchased this shrimp from the counter at the grocery store yesterday. They had wild caught, never frozen shrimp, 21, 24 on sale for, what was it, $10.90 for $10.99. So I got a bag of shrimp. Now you can do shrimp cocktail like this without the shell, but when you can, you really want the shells, because we're going to take these shrimp, we're going to take the shells and put the shells in there to add even more flavor to that quart bouillon. Now, if you are buying shrimp at the grocery store and you go up to the counter and maybe it's on sale and you think, I'm going to buy 2 to 3 pounds of that and take it home to put it in the freezer, always ask the butcher or the fishmonger, has it been frozen? A lot of times when you see in the frozen section, they have those big 2 and 3 pound bags that are on sale, and that's what they're doing in the counter. They're just opening those bags and dumping them out, and they start to thaw out, and then you don't want to re-thaw them. So if your shrimp has been frozen, don't thaw it and refreeze it. So a lot of times you're better off just to get the big bag that's already frozen and then take it home and split it up. Here's what we're going to do with our shrimp today. I'm going to peel this shrimp, and this is why I like the peel on, and the shrimp shells are going right into that quart bouillon, and as you can imagine, it's going to add tons of flavor. Now, there's a school of thought that you have to do your shrimp cocktail with the shrimp with the shells on, or otherwise the shrimp gets tough. I haven't found that. I think the way I do it, it cooks so quick that it doesn't. And I also think that I would rather peel it beforehand than after it's cooked. But you can honestly do it however you want. We can go straight into here with all the shells on and then come back and peel, or we can peel them, put the shells in. If you're going to cook them with the shells on, take a knife and cut down so that you can devein and make sure that they're deveined, and then you can leave the shell on. But I'm going to shell mine. I'm going to leave the tail on because that's kind of like for your shrimp cocktail, your little handle, and the shells right in there. So that's going to be delicious. So let me get these peeled and deveined, and then we'll be back. So our shrimp are peeled. Our peels are in here. And if you get shrimp with the heads on, throw those heads in there because that's going to add a lot of flavor. Now, the reason we want to simmer this for 30 minutes because that really just helps those flavors develop in that just gets even more yummier. It also allows for our shrimp to sit and come out to room temperature for that 30 minutes. And if they're at room temperature, they're obviously going to have a more even cook. And it's not going to put cold shrimp straight into there. It's going to drop that temperature, and we don't want that. So while we have our 30 minutes, let's make some homemade cocktail sauce. It smells so good. Okay, so honestly, did not realize how low on ketchup I was, but I think I have enough to make this. We'll have to make ketchup with you here soon. And what you want is a cup of ketchup. Now, I make my own because anytime I can stay away from soybean oils and high fructose corn syrups and gums and all of that, I try to, and ketchup is honestly easy to make. Now, if you're buying ketchup, I recommend the Heinz Organic. And the reason I say that is because it's not made with high fructose corn syrup. It's made with cane sugar. The only thing in that ingredient that I don't like is it says natural flavors. So that means it's not necessarily all natural. So as far as store-bought ketchups, that is the one that I recommend. There's no gums in there. There's no soybean oil. So if you're buying the ketchup, go for the organic. I'm going for mine. So we have a cup of ketchup, and then we're going to do the horseradish. And I think you have to play with this and see what kind of heat that you want. I usually go for about 4 teaspoons and then taste it and see if I want to add a little more. We like it kind of spicy, so you might want to adjust that to your spice level. And I know I've said it before, get the horseradish that's in that refrigerated part of the grocery store and not the horseradish that's next to the mayonnaise, because you want the fresh horseradish without all that added whatnot in it. I'm going to do the juice of half a lemon. And in my cocktail sauce, I like a little celery salt. It just adds a little something. Sometimes I've even been known to take celery and just dice it really fine and put it in there. And quite honestly, that's my favorite when I do that. But for y'all, I just wanted to keep it kind of simple. And I'm going to do about a quarter of a teaspoon, and then we can always add. So start little, and then you can add. And I am going to do a quarter of a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. I'm going to do my whole ground black pepper here, a few grinds. And you probably want another just little pinch of kosher salt. Again, start small, we can add later. And then just your favorite hot sauce, we're going to give that a couple drops of your favorite hot sauce. And mix that up. And that's how easy it is to make cocktail sauce. And again, when you're buying cocktail sauce, that's when you encounter the high fructose corn syrup. And I think it's funny, a lot of them have high fructose corn syrup and corn syrup. So I don't know why they need both. But that's when you find the gums and the artificial this and soybean oil. So when you can make it yourself, I promise you it's going to taste better. And it's also going to come without all those things that you don't want. And then we're going to have a little taste. For us, I'm going to go with a little more horseradish. I thought that was a good jumping off point. I'm going to go just a little bit more horseradish. I'm going to do another grind of my pepper and a little pinch of kosher. And then we'll try it again. And now it's perfect. And we're going to want to chill this in the refrigerator till we're ready for it. Beautiful homemade cocktail sauce. See, it was easy. All right, so now we're almost ready to poach, and you've got some options. You can strain your court bouillon, and then just put the court bouillon back in here, and then when you put your shrimp, and then you just have to strain it, and you're good. Or you can put your shrimp in there with all of that good stuff, and then strain it. But this is what I like to do. I find it the easiest, and I can also do batch upon batch upon batch. I could do with this one pot 4 to 5 pounds of shrimp instead of just the one that we have today. So let me bring you down here and show you how I like to do the shrimp. So look how pretty that is. Doesn't that look like amazing poaching liquid? So now I'm going to do my shrimp in batches because I don't want to put a whole lot in here and cool it down really fast. I'd rather do it in batches. And what I use is my trusty vegetable steamer. Shrimp in the vegetable steamer, and then I'm just going to sit that right down in there and let those poach in that beautiful liquid. 2.5 minutes for medium shrimp, 3 minutes for large shrimp. You don't want to overcook these. You want them to turn pink and curl up just a little. If they curl up really super tight, then you've overcooked them. And this is it. And we're just going to let them sit in there. And you can see how it took the temperature down. But it's going to come back up as they cook. And then I'm just going to put them on my sheet tray with a little parchment paper or wax paper and pop that tray in the refrigerator. So I set my timer for 2 minutes, but I can look at this shrimp and I can see it's gotten white. I can feel that it's gotten more solid on me. So I am taking these out, and that's why I love this. And then I can just scooch them right there on my tray, and I'm going to pop this tray in the refrigerator for about 5 minutes. So I'm back with my second batch. Now that they were fresh, local caught wild shrimp. So they had some that were a little bigger than others. So I kind of separated them into the bigger pile and the smaller pile so that they'll cook evenly. And let that come back to a boil. There it goes. And I set my timer. I hit go. And then I drop in. And if you want to, like, you can take your shrimp and feel it and feel how kind of mushy and how soft it is, and that gives you a good indicator of when it's done. And you can see how it, I don't want to say the word toughen up because they're not going to be tough, but firms up. How about that? So there they go. My timer's on for 2 minutes, but I always check them even before that timer's up. So I still have almost a minute to go, but I like to check on them and see, and it's still just a little soft. I'm going to give it a few more minutes, and I can see how this one's really curling in on itself. So it might be done. Yeah, and I'm going to pull that one out. I might leave one in here and show you how when they overcook, how curled up they can get. Yep, okay, so these are out. Yep, there they with the timer. And then we're going to add these to the fridge. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this one that looks really nice. It's not too curled up. And we're going to put him in there and overcook him so you can see what happens to him. So I pulled this one out so you can see just how curled up that shrimp got. When we put him in there, he was kind of like that. And that's what you do not want. Don't let him do that. Now, I'm going to go a little old school here with this like parfait cup. You know, it just screams the 70s shrimp cocktail, but that's okay. That's how I'm going to set mine up. Now, the reason I put my shrimp on a tray in the refrigerator and not plunging it into cold water, because yes, that ice cold water does shock it. It stops that cooking. But I also think it soaks up all those flavors that we just work so hard to impart in that shrimp. So that's why I like to, on a sheet tray in the refrigerator, in 5 minutes, they're nice and chilled down and retain all of that flavor. And also, I don't know which one's more important, But you know, ice and water is kind of precious on a boat. So I don't want to waste I don't want to waste ice or water to chill down my shrimp. But I also think they taste better when you don't. So in the center here, I'm going to do a little bit of that shrimp cocktail that we made. I need a knife. We'll do a little lemon. And then because, I don't know, shrimp cocktail might be Billy's favorite thing. What do you think about your favorite thing?
I can't think of anything I'd rather put in my mouth more than a shrimp cocktail.
So silly.
I am so true. It's true. I love shrimp cocktail. And she
Now,
makes it the best.
Isn't that beautiful? Wouldn't you just love to serve your shrimp cocktail like that? Here, I'm going to have to, we'll get a taste test. Uh-oh. Here, honey, taste that. And of course, I want to taste one. So I hope that you found that cooking your own shrimp cocktail is so easy. How is it? You're just leaving me? Yeah, the phone call. But how simple is that? I promise you, once you go fresh, you won't go back to those frozen things that have no seasoning on them at all. And cheers. So delicious. That tastes like shrimp cocktail, folks. Thank you for being here today. If you have any questions, just leave me a comment. I'm happy to help. And I hope that I inspired you to make your own shrimp cocktail. It's really easy. I'll see y'all later. Bye.